So how are you anyways?
I'm doing good. I am a lot more grounded now than I'd say I was a year ago. Um, I think I've found a lot more peace in my life, a lot more a calm. I've found a calm lately, and I'm really grateful for that because I was looking for it for a long time.
Hmm.
And
Like this year recently?
yes, yes, yep.
And where did you find it? Where was it?
In my backyard.
The whole time.
Where was it the whole time? Um,
When you say grounded, what is that to you?
just like grounded to who I am and, grounded with my environment, grounded with the land. I think, for the past couple of years, I've been so busy with work and life and politics, and it got really chaotic
Hmm.
for some time there. And it was really hard. It was really hard the past couple of years because I'd say I had a lot of pressure on
Yeah.
myself, not just from like media, but I'd say, from people. A lot of pressure from like who I had to be, the places I had to be, where I had to go next. And I always like had this chaos around me. Like every single day was like, okay, I gotta go here, I gotta do this, And so every day when I'd go home, it was just like I just completely shut down. I'd be like, I just shut off. And so now I'm like finding this groove of like kind of focusing more on myself and more on my health, like my physical, mental, emotional, spiritual health more than I ever did before. So I'm really, really grateful for that.
I feel like when I met you, we were just talking about this, but when I first met you, you were how old do you now? Okay, maybe. When I met you, you were young,
Yeah.
and I thought you were way older
Mm-hmm.
because of how you spoke.
Mm.
You spoke so you're very wise for your age, and I found out you were a child. I'm like, man, how did this kid get so smart? How is this kid smarter than me? Because how you spoke was like very, uh, just like you'd say things that would make me think, or you'd say things that were like super deep that I feel like people who are in their early 20s or 18, 19 years old don't speak like that.
Mm-hmm.
So where did that come from?
Jeez. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that. um, well, I still am in my early 20s. And, they say that, well, I've learned is that when somebody is wise beyond their years, that they've been through a lot of like difficult situations, different obstacles, but that they've overcome them. And so growing up, I grew up in North Battleford. And so, a small town filled with a lot of racism. But, my community, the people that I surrounded myself with, may or did have like a really big influence on me. And, growing up in North Battleford, I was super close to my home res, Mosquito. I'm from Mosquito, and my mother is from Red Pheasant. And so for my early years, I like bounced on and off the res. And finally, when I was living with my mom, I was like 12 years old. And around that same time, I was still trying to really find myself and find my identity because I definitely wasn't the confident, outgoing Hailey Rose that I am now. Like proud to be Indigenous, proud to be Native, and a proud woman. And so I kind of struggled like within those years because I felt like, in the city in North Battleford, I like didn't fit in, with the local natives. But then when I was on the res, I was like this city girl.
Mm.
And so that was a really big challenge for me. And, at that time, I I was in grade 7. My grade 7, I was the first class to ever go to high school. And so I was 12 years old, already in high school, and it opened up a lot of doors for me. I was super young, and I seen all these older teenagers, and I wanted to try everything that they were doing. I seen the drugs, I seen the alcohol growing up, but now I actually had access to it. And so quite early, when I was 12, 13, 14 years old, I got you know my hands dirty a little bit, and I started to want to touch those things. And ever since I was a young girl, even in my elementary years, I was always a perfectionist. Whatever I did, whether it was in art class, whether it was English and I was writing an essay, I always wanted to do it to the best of my ability. I always wanted to do it and try it, and I'd do it over and over and over again until I got it right and until I liked it. And I didn't know why it was like that. I was like, it was like I wanted to make my teachers proud, and I wanted them to be proud of me
Mm.
because I didn't get that from my environment around me. I didn't get that from, you know, my peers. I didn't really feel that from like other individuals. And so it felt really good when my teachers, were like, Hailey, like you're doing such an amazing job. We're so
Right.
proud of you, blah, blah, blah. And so I took that as far as I could go. And, when I was in high school, and I started, dabbling with those things, the drugs and alcohol, I knew that it wasn't who I was, and it wasn't what I wanted, to touch or anything like that. But that at the end of the day, I still was that Hailey that, you know, always wanted to try new things, always wanted to include other people, and always wanted, this feeling of like, I wanted to be seen, and I wanted to feel heard, and I wanted to feel loved. And really, like, I wanted a sense of belonging. And so I knew that if I was feeling like that, like if I was going through that, I was going to look for that in so many different places, whether that was to go hang out with these friends that are like going out and partying, because that's a group. That's a place where I could feel like I could belong. Or maybe it was like in high school, I joined a sewing club, and like I loved the sewing club because I got to stay inside at recess.
Do you love sewing?
Not so much anymore, but I always joined like random things. Like, man, when I was in grade 10, this is when COVID-19 hit, and such a chaotic time for me. I was still in high school when COVID hit. And, I think at that time, that's when like mental health really became a conversation, especially
Mm.
men's mental health. And I took it as an opportunity to really bring not only our young people, but even our teachers, our parents and our caregivers together and start talking about it. And so I found these little like cool activities and things that I could do, in my school. I used to apply for little grants and little bursaries and things like that so that I could bring cool things to my school. I started like a Cree language class in high school, and I did like a mental health workshop in high school when they, back in North Battleford, we were almost going to lose the homeless shelter. And I was like, man, like, what is that going to do for like our community, you know? And like, I need to help them. And so I gathered some money and I made these little care package kits. And on the day when they did a rally, I went out there and I gave them these little bags full of like toques and mitts and little snacks and things like that. And at the time, like, it wasn't like it was a way for me to not only just feel, feel better that I could help somebody else, but because I, in North Battleford, there was not much to do. And I didn't want to like do the drugs and I didn't want to, party and things like that. It was really easy for me to like keep busy and keep myself occupied from being able to start little initiatives and start little cool school projects and be able to help others, and I learned so much from them. I learned so many cool stories from people that were on the streets and people that struggle, with real things, like things that even at 14, 15, 16 years old and up until I was, ready to graduate, I was always learning from like older individuals. Even my teachers, I'd go and show up to class before it even started and I'd ask my teachers, like, what can I do to be better? How can I get my grades better? And like just visit with them. And I didn't understand it at the time. At the time, I didn't understand this until I got older, of course. But maybe I was learning from the teachers, but I think they were, of course, they took things that I had to say to their heart, and took that home and tried to appreciate the small things and maybe like needed that conversation too right in the morning to remind them, why they do this, why they teach, and the impact that they all had on me.
Well, it rubbed off on you for sure. And what do you said you're working lots right now?
Yeah.
So what are you doing now?
Yeah. So right now I'm self-employed. I do independent contracting all across Turtle Island.
Mm.
Lately I've been getting into like modeling and cool things like that. But I still do like gigs here and there, public speaking. Um, I'm trying to do more workshops. I'm trying to do a lot more programs now because I feel like the impact there is a lot greater than coming in one time,
Right.
to come speak for half an hour.
Mm.
But yeah, I've been working with a clothing line, a clothing brand, trying to build it, and that's where maybe you'll come in and just like really cool things. For the past couple of years, I was youth chief,
Mm-hmm.
and that took up a lot of my time. But
Did you enjoy politics, or was it pretty stressful?
politics is interesting,
Yeah. I've,
and
I've had a handful of people come and sit down and chat with them who have ran for different things, and it's just
mhm.
it seems like a lot. I'm like, doesn't even. I don't know. I mean, I, f- I feel like it's like something where you have like an intention or something you want to do, but then there's like a certain game of politics that needs to be played, which would be hard,
Hmm.
I think. What do you think?
Well, geez, politics for me was a big learning journey because I got into it at such a young age. I was 15 years old, and I remember getting on my first flight all by myself. My mom was just waving at me at the airport. My girl. Like,
Were you scared?
no,
No, that's
I was
good.
excited. I was ready to get out of there. Laughing like the Grinch here. Anyways. But I remember getting on that flight, and geez, I didn't even know what I was getting myself into, but I was so young, and I had applied to be a carrier of hope for the Assembly First Nations Education Department. And I didn't even realize at the time how big the Assembly of First Nations really was. And I had to write a whole paragraph, for it. I had to write a whole essay for it. And
65 words I had to
I
write.
had to write a whole 100 words. That's funny. But anyways, I ended up getting accepted, and we were packing my bags. Like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, I'm doing this because I've always wanted to, get somewhere out of North Battleford, out of that small town. And when I got there, I remember we were all sitting in a little circle, and there were youth from like ages 12 to about 25. And there was about 15 of us, and we were sitting in this circle. And they wanted our perspectives, all these things that we felt that the government could do better to support First Nations youth in education. And I remember sitting there, and I literally had this feeling like, again, like, I can't believe I'm here. Like, I felt so out of place. But I knew later that I wouldn't be here if they didn't see something, in me that was going to help them. And I remember we spent these next 3 days just talking about, these call to actions, we called them, calling upon the government to, support our First Nations young people with their education, elementary right through post-secondary. And by that third day, we had to speak in front of ministers, provincial MPs. Like, we were in Ottawa, so there was like a lot of political figures in that room. And I got asked to be, one of the speakers, and I was okay. I was okay to speak. I was okay to talk. Hey, I could have went on for hours and hours. I could have told them a whole story. But it's funny because I was just up there, and like, I had crazy anxiety for my hands would just get all sweaty, and I had really bad anxiety at that time. I like had a hard time keeping eye contact with people, and my voice would get shaky, but I loved it. And when I came home 2 weeks after that, I ended up getting a call, and it was an opportunity to go to this big conference that was happening in Toronto. And ever since there, that's where it really took off for me. And I found myself in a lot more political spaces. And, I became this young advocate that really pushed the government to, address some of the social issues that Indigenous people were facing at the time. And I'd say when I got elected as youth chief a couple of years ago through FSIN, that was a really big transition. I had a really good mentor, and she was the previous third vice chief. And, if it wasn't for her to take me under her wing and really, support me and like help me understand how to live in the political world, I definitely wouldn't see it now the way that it really is. And, you know, being a young woman in politics is really hard. It's really difficult because we're so used to these patriarchal, systems. A lot of men at the table, and oftentimes I was the youngest person at the table, and just a young woman at the table. And so you're not really put on the pedestal. You're, down here. You often have to listen, um, and so I'd say that there was a lot of lateral violence towards women, against women in politics that, I had seen that made me feel really uncomfortable and sad, but it wasn't something that you could address. It wasn't something that you could openly talk about because at the end of the day, you have all these nations and all these people relying on you, to be their voice, to be, a strong advocate, to be in these spaces as the strongest individual. And so earlier when I was talking about the pressure and things like that, it's that. Yeah.
Did you ever feel like you didn't belong there?
Um I
Like,
wouldn't
what is that,
say that.
imposter syndrome?
Yeah, they call it,
Because
imposter syndrome.
I feel like it happens a lot.
It happens to
But
everybody.
I feel like for your
Yes.
situation, it is a pretty extreme situation.
Yes.
Like, lots of people get it in ordinary situations,
Yeah.
you know? But I feel like your situation specifically would be way worse.
Aw. Don't laugh at me. It's okay. Laughter is medicine. Thanks for healing me.
That's what I'm here for, right? But so how do you handle that? Imposter syndrome.
hmm Um, you know, I think for a lot of leaders, there are a lot of leaders that I look up to that aren't even in, the political environment, that are just regular old people. And, you're one of them. You're somebody that I look up to because the longest time that I've known you, since the very first time that I've known you, you have this gift of seeing the strengths in people, and you can acknowledge that. You acknowledge it. And one of the things that you also do is vocalize it. Like when you admire somebody, I've noticed this about you, but you tell them. And so often I'll refer this back to like politics, but you hear it, that people see the work that you're doing and they admire the work that you're doing and they're proud of you. And it's most often from, the people that are watching you every day, but it's not the people in that room with you when you're having those difficult conversations, when you're, you know, in those meetings. You're not going to hear that. You're not going to really feel it. But the rewarding feeling that comes is when you solidify that project or you solidify that funding that you've just been eagerly waiting for, and you throw that community event, you show up to that grad for those students in every, nation. If you show up to, an elders gathering and sit there with them and learn from them, that's the rewarding feeling. Because one of the best things is just being able to show up. And, I think it's it's difficult when you're in the space to be like sitting there and you're just like, to see that I should be here. But then after, when you know the work is done, you're like, that's why I'm here, you know, because all these people believe in me and they trust me. And when somebody trusts you to do something and you know, move forward with it and you go forward with it and you get it done, you know, nobody can take that feeling from you. Yeah.
Do you feel like you're still a little bit of a perfectionist?
Yes.
Yeah. When you said that earlier, the first thing that went through my mind was, I wonder what she was thinking when I told her we're gonna wing it.
And write a note. You know what I do believe? Actually, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Winging it is not a bad thing. The thunder beings.
The thunder what?
The thunder beings.
That was loud.
Winging it is okay because it comes from the heart.
That's how I do most things.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I don't need to go through it a bunch of times. You know, I got to think about it for months
Mm-hmm.
and just like go through it and then go through it again, and then it happens and it doesn't even happen that way anyways. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, let's just do it.
Yeah.
You know, even like with speaking, like I've done like spoken on topics,
Yeah.
and then I've done like a speaking where it was like a panel.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer that because then I'm just getting asked questions and I just know what I know and I don't know what I don't know. But when
Mm-hmm.
I have to write something, I feel like I'm like overthinking it, or it's like I'm trying to be a certain way. So now I don't write anymore. I just do like point form things that I want to talk about. And then if I know it, I know it, you know?
Yeah.
So I'll just like make point form notes of things
Yeah.
that I want to touch on. And then it just comes out naturally. Because I've
Naturally.
tried to write like a thing to speak, and I'm just like, I sound like an idiot, you know?
You know? I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because if you feel that way, then other people are going to feel that too.
Yeah, that guy is an idiot.
No. Oh my gosh, no. More in like the sense of if you speak, you know, from the heart and it flows, you know, from the heart,
Mm-hmm.
people will feel that.
Yeah.
People will be able to recognize that rather than you know, worrying and stressing about something you've just written and, you know, you're looking at from the paper trying to read whatever you've prepared and you can't actually engage with your audience. You're not looking at them, you're not acknowledging them, you know, and
Right. Like looking down, just
yeah,
reading.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think too, like it's really easy to listen to somebody when, you know, they haven't rehearsed something because, you know, it's just come from here and it hasn't really come from here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it's more relatable, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when you see somebody speak and they're real good, they're too good. It's like, oh, I could never do that. I was really good. But then people that are just like telling a story, it's like, hey, maybe my story could help somebody.
Yeah.
I could just go up and share my story. But then some people, it's just like, frick, that guy's good.
It's authentic.
Yeah, it's authentic.
Hey? It's like authentic, it's genuine, it's raw, and it
Mm-hmm.
just feels real. And now I get paranoid too that like everything that people write on like social media and speeches and stuff is like AI.
It is.
It is, and I can notice it. Like I
I
notice it.
I just okay. I seen this theory. I actually was talking about it on another podcast too, because we were talking about that. Like eventually, it's just gonna be everything online is just gonna be AI talking to AI.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you write a status or something through Chat GPT, and
Yeah.
then somebody replies to it using an AI, and now it's just like AI talking to AI through us.
Yeah.
And it's online is not even gonna be humans talking to each other anymore. It's just gonna be robots talking to robots using us as vehicles. Which is kind of weird.
So when you respond to me, are you using AI?
Every time.
For real, for real.
Sometimes when people say things to me, like especially younger people with their slang,
Mm-hmm.
I go put it into Chat GPT and I'm like, what the
Yeah.
heck did they just say to me?
Yeah. I think when was this, a couple of months ago? One of my brothers said we were shopping for jackets, and I think we were in Banff. Oh, this was during Christmas time. I was just taking my little brother shopping with me on Boxing Day, and we're in Ardeen's. Hey, I like my Ardeen's, and and I threw on that jacket, and I didn't even go to the change room to like put it on or anything. I just put it on right there because why am I gonna walk all that way just to throw on a jacket? You know. Anyways, I put it on and I was like, like what do you think, bro? Like, what do you think? He's 12. And he was like, oh, that's very sty. And I looked at him and what is sty? He's like, it's sty, it's sty. I'm like, what is sty? He's like stylish. Where did you hear that from? And I guess it's like this hockey slang and
Sty.
yeah.
Sty.
But I try keep, I try keep some of their dialogue in my books because when I I'm around children a lot and young people and like I think if I said, oh, that's very sty, like
Have you used
I
it?
might be on their level.
Did you use it yet?
I have used it.
How'd it
Guilty. It went good. I felt pretty cool.
I fit in after.
I felt like, yeah. Yeah.
How do you okay, now that you're doing your own thing, how's modeling?
Mm.
Fun?
Yes.
Hard? Easy? You met Matt? Meticulous?
Yes.
I've known that guy for a long time.
He's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Big
He's
personality.
Awesome. Yes.
Yeah.
The vibes were there.
Yeah.
The vibes were immaculate.
Okay.
Modeling. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, go. You go ahead.
Modeling is something that like makes the little girl in me happy.
Mm.
I don't remember where I read this, but I remember seeing it and it says, as long as you're doing something that would make that little person in you happy, that little boy in you, that little girl in you, you'll be satisfied. And so I've tried to pick up, new habits now and try new things and do those small little things that would have made the little Hailey and me happy, the little happy me. But and so modeling is like one of those things for me. When I was a young little girl, I used to always put on my auntie's heels, her real long boots, and they just come up to my butt cheeks. And I'd walk around the house and I just felt deadly, and like that made me happy when I was young. I always wanted to be a little model, a little runway superstar. And I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be a dancer. And when I was younger, like I took dancing. I was in competitive dancing for a number of years. And just recently, too, I got into singing. And I've tried to,
Prove
like,
it.
we'll have to say that for another time. Hey. But yeah, I've started picking up like more modeling, more singing, more not dancing, maybe salsa dancing by the river, but nothing fancy.
Can you salsa dance?
I try. I actually wanted to start powwow dancing. I feel like you asked me this when I seen you at the powwow if I danced. And again, like I used to dance when I was younger. I used to dance fancy, and now I don't dance, So I'm trying to pick up those things that I used to love doing, like modeling and singing and dancing, because it made me feel really like free spirited. That spirit in me just gets really excited, feels at home. So modeling is, yeah, another door that I wanted to open, and it's fun.
Have you done runway?
I haven't done runway yet. I'm quite clumsy. I'm a clumsy
With the
person,
big
so
sigh.
I don't wanna roll an ankle or because I might, and then I'll just play it off. Hey.
just,
All of a
just
sudden she's on the
limping.
ground and she's just limping.
Just a tuck and roll and then back into it.
Well, actually, funny story. When this is like a year ago at Visayan Powwow, I entered the Cowgirl Special. I entered the Cowgirl Special, and you have to like dress up like a cowboy, cowgirl. And I wore these like real long pants with these cheap cowgirl boots. And I went out there on the dance floor and I ended up tripping. And I went tumbling in front of thousands of people, man. Like, oh, and I just got up and I did the LMFAO shuffle and I kept going.
She just tipped your hat.
Yeah, that just humbled me real quick. So I haven't danced since.
That was it.
I'll try again soon. Yeah.
I have you. You said you've been doing lots of ceremonies.
Yeah.
Have you sundanced this year, or are you planning on it?
Mm-hmm.
I just got invited to Sweetgrass
Mm-hmm.
to go help, and it's
How do you feel about that being asked?
uh I don't. It is like a little bit intimidating, but I don't know
Mm.
why. I don't know why it would be.
Are you nervous to go, or you just don't know what you'll do? Why do you feel intimidated?
It's just like new, I guess. New, and I know how important it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so maybe a combination of those things.
Mm-hmm.
It's like very important to like a lot of the people there. You know, like especially compared to me, who it's like unfamiliar. I'm not really sure even like fully what this ceremony is or what it means to people.
Mm.
So it's just like I don't know. I don't know.
That's your role, though.
Hmm.
They say traditionally in our traditional systems, our traditional clan systems, understanding, your role as a man is so important because when you practice that, when you practice your role as a helper, they say oscapios. You'd be an oscapios if you went there and you helped out. But there's so many teachings that come behind being, a helper. And I think it's something that a lot of our young men, within their lifetime should really understand, because it's it's a blessing, to be able to help other people. And a part of that man's role is to be, a protector, that you're a protector, that you're our warriors, that would watch over our fires, would protect our teepees, would, go gather and go hunt, for your families. And so that role as a helper is, it's sacred. It's sacred because not everybody in that ceremony will be able to be, a helper in the way that you are. And so I understand, how it could be intimidating, but it really is a gift to be able to learn, and and take those teachings, and one day you'll be able to take those teachings and pass it on to your son, be able to teach your son, what it means to be a helper and how he can be an helper. Mm-hmm.
That's what, like, since I've been in Saskatoon, because like I was raised by my mom,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't grow up, like, I didn't grow up Indigenous at all. I didn't even really know my native side that well. So then, when I moved to Saskatoon, it just started by kind of like really getting to know my dad's side of the
Mm-hmm.
family, because they're all here. But even them, they're not very, they're just people from Saskatoon, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like they don't practice. They don't, I have a couple cousins who do, like, especially like Batosh and
Mm-hmm.
dance, and but for the most part, it just wasn't. So like, honestly, meeting, you guys, and Hal too,
Mm-hmm.
and even with going out and doing different things at different reserves, and like learning and
Mm-hmm.
being a part of it, it's been like very eye opening,
Mm-hmm.
and just like a lot of learning. So it has been. I'm very grateful for that,
Yeah.
to like finally like be learning about it,
Mm-hmm.
and even language. Like I want to learn at some point.
Mm-hmm. Where are you from?
Manitoba.
Manitoba.
Saint Madeline is a Métis settlement.
Mm-hmm.
Um, kind of by. It's actually like pretty close to Yorkton. Like it's like
Oh,
just over the border by
yeah.
like Russell. But my dad's still over there.
Yeah.
So like I'm related to like Flurries, Janais,
Mm-hmm.
the Montneys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you ever go back there?
Lots.
Lots?
Yeah. Because my dad lives there. So
Yeah. Go
I go
visit?
there 2-3 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows like a lot of our family history and stuff.
Yeah.
Every time I go there, there's more relatives there. He's like, this
Yeah.
is your cousin. This is your. But I just don't really know
So
him that well.
do you feel that community here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I feel it, but like I didn't for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I kind of like forced my way in, you know?
Yeah.
Like I wanted to learn. So like I
Mm.
just hung out with people and got to know people who could teach me or put me in situations to learn,
Yeah.
you know? Uh, but so now I do, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like even when I go to different ceremonies like powwow, and like I know a lot of the people there now,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like there's a lot of people that are my friends that are like my good friends that are dancing or speaking at them or emceeing or drumming, you know.
Yeah.
So like I do feel way more like
Welcomed.
welcome because I didn't always, you know, especially like when like the end of high school. Like, okay, I when I was in BC, it was way different.
Mm-hmm.
BC is like way different than Saskatchewan.
Mm-hmm.
Uh
In regards to like culture.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
not culture, but well, yeah, probably culture too. But for me, like I still didn't really understand what being native was
Yeah.
when I was in BC. Like it seemed like everyone loves everyone in BC. You know, like there was not like I don't. You know, when I moved to Saskatchewan, like I got told that I was native all the time. Like it was like very racist.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a separation. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
in BC, I don't remember that. I don't
Mm-hmm.
remember like being called name. I don't remember anything like that. I don't remember. I just remember everyone hung out with everyone there, and it was. And then when I moved to Saskatchewan, it was like uh, small towns I grew up in, and it was like always like white native, like
Yeah.
lots of violence, lots of fighting, lots of racism, and then for
Mm-hmm.
me, like native people looked at me like I was white, and white people looked at me like I was native, and I'm just like I don't know what to do, you
Yeah.
know. So then I was just like, just try to be friends with everyone, but so like I never really, even when like my best friend, did you meet Bugsy? Did you ever meet Bugsy?
Not yet.
Hmm. You're missing out.
Soon.
uh, but he's from Carry the Kettle
Okay.
because I graduate. That's where I graduated in Wolseley, just outside of Carry the Kettle.
Is that a nickname? That's a nickname.
Bugsy
Yeah.
or Carry the Kettle. uh, yeah, it's a nickname. Do you want
I don't
the
know.
name on his license? The story's gonna be the same. um, but I remember there it was like I didn't always feel welcome there
Mm-hmm.
going there.
Mm-hmm.
Going even though I went there a lot, I just knew I was gonna get bugged, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But it was like I don't take things personally or anything, so it wasn't like it didn't never made me not want to go there. I just
Mm.
bugged back, you know.
Yeah.
But I knew, and then same with like in the town too.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like both got it from both sides.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you feel that and you have that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that goes all the way back to like, that same finding that belonging wherever you are. It doesn't matter who you are or how old you are. We are always, as Indigenous people, we are always looking for a sense of belonging
Mm-hmm.
because of our history of oppression, colonialism, and all these systems that assimilated our people. And so it's very normal for Indigenous people to feel like they don't belong in these spaces when really we do. And there's so much there's so much power right now behind being Indigenous, whether you're First Nations, Métis, or Inuit, and we've never seen it before. like years ago, um, just like in the media, on social media, a lot of people, you know, weren't seen on billboards, weren't making music videos and getting signed to these you know, big music companies. And
Mm-hmm.
now you see it everywhere. Now
Yeah.
you see Indigenous people are rising, Indigenous people are coming up, and
Mm-hmm.
like we have young people, young children that are just proud, like proud to be Native, proud to be here, banging those drums and speaking their languages. And like we're just at this different time, on stage now. And I think it's also helping, that older generation to feel seen, feel heard, and feel valued, that what they've overcome and what they've been through, when they were young, it, that it's okay. And so often, like we don't say that enough and acknowledge it, that it's going to be okay, and that the things that have led us here today, um like we wouldn't be here without them. And just like even this past weekend here, we had National Indigenous Peoples Day. And like I came across a lot of posts, and it's like every day, though, every day on my feed, every day on Instagram, every day on Facebook, Snapchat, whatever it is, like people are just proud. And for the longest time, I didn't even know like all of my roots either. And so we had this Rock Your Roots event, and it was on Friday there. And I'm like, I always acknowledge that I'm First Nations, that I'm from Mosquito, that I'm from Red Pheasant. But so often I forget to acknowledge that I'm Métis. And like, on my mom's side, my grandma's Métis. And my grandma, married a white man. And not too often do I acknowledge that either. For the longest time, I didn't. I just, only thought I was just Native. And so now I'm like really connecting, with those ancestors, because I didn't for so long. And they, have been just watching over me for so long, and I just never acknowledged them. And I think like the way that you felt, that like, you go to these events now and you're like, I belong here, that feeling. It's a good feeling, that we have that. We have that now. For
Mm-hmm.
so long, we didn't. Yeah.
I think one of the I remember I was going for a run. Actually, it was with
Mm-hmm.
Lavina Tutusis, and I was talking to her about that, and she's like the first person to say to me, she just said, "Cole, it doesn't matter like how indigenous you are.
Yeah.
You're indigenous.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're all like we're all the same." And I remember that, like I felt it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that was probably like 5 years ago, 6 years. I don't know
Yeah.
how long ago, but I just remember that and how like nice that was, like to hear from her, you
It's
know.
reassuring.
Yeah, and she's like pretty strong into her culture and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So to like hear that from her was like, it was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because yeah,
You
and
needed that.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I think it is always nice to have like that affirmation, for somebody to like reaffirm that doesn't matter, doesn't matter your blood. And I think that like even now, I, like, even for you, like we were giggling earlier that, like, at first I didn't really know you, and now you're like, a bro, and I was like, big brother. Like, but so often, like, we adopt people
Mhm.
as our relatives, as a little brother, as a little sister. I'll treat you like a niece, I'll treat you like a nephew. Your son, I'll treat him like a nephew, I'll treat him like no other, because before anything, like, I know my role, I know I'm an auntie, I know that, I'm a nana, and I have these responsibilities to look out for them, just like you do as, a father, as a husband, as a friend. And I've adopted so many people in my life that aren't even blood, that, I have no relation with in the government way, in the in our tree line. Um, but like, it doesn't matter, because whether you're blood or not, I'll still treat you the same. I'm not going to treat you any different. And I think, like, that is so powerful, because so often we have people that come into our lives. For you, that was, some individuals that just made you feel proud, made you feel like you're damn right I am AT, like, just confident in it. Um and like, that is such a blessing, because even for myself, like, I have relatives that are blood that I don't even talk to, that I don't want to talk to. I have just met these other people that came into my life at the right time, and now I see them, as a father, as a brother, as a sister, and that's just, the best feeling to have that. Yeah. And I think, like, that's the old way too,
Mhm.
that's a really old way of how we treated other people. Is, we're not above anyone, we're not below anyone. I'll see you for who you are, and whatever that is, whatever that relationship that you made clear with that person, that's, you know. So I think there are a lot of, individuals out there that don't feel like they're Métis enough, or that they're, not First Nations enough. First Nations, that they're not Native enough, that they're not from the res. But I mean, that's not their fault, That's not our fault. Like, you think about all these policies and the Indian Act and all these bills that are coming forward and still coming forward, that continue to just pull our people apart and pull us apart. And, like, we we should have control over that. Like, even just being able to, like, having to get your Métis card, I've heard is such a long process, such a hard process to, like, have to go back and look at your ancestry and pull up all these things. And it's like, why is it that difficult? And why does the government get to decide
Right.
if you're Native or not? Why do they get to decide? Why do they get to distinguish if you can exercise your rights or not? If you can exercise your treaty and inherent rights? Why
Mm.
do they get to decide that? So, I mean, those are tough battles and hard battles that I fought for a number of years. I'm still fighting, but it's reality. It's a reality that's where we are. Yeah.
For I was just starting to, feel a little bit indigenous, and then Royce came along, the whitest boy. I'm like, oh yeah, never mind. Just kidding.
He's so cute.
Yeah, he's the best. It's funny though because me and Demi,
Do you worry a little bit for him that he won't?
no, no, I don't.
Or
I
you
don't worry
just,
very often.
yeah, okay.
You know,
Yeah.
um, but it is like funny because when we found out we're having a son,
Yeah.
we just pictured me,
A mini
dark
you.
features, dark, and then he just got all Demi.
Aw.
You know, I'm sorry to hear that. Just kidding.
Does that hurt a little, you?
No, it's fine.
Sorry, but her genetics run a little deeper.
For real, strong genetics. Yeah, just overpowered me.
Aw.
um, but no, he's the best. He is the best. Cool kid.
Is that the best feeling? Is being a dad? Did
Yeah,
it change for you?
it changed a lot.
What did it change?
Cause it's like different when you're just living for somebody else
Yeah.
now, and it's different than a spouse too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a spouse, you're a team, but it's like they're still their own person,
Yeah.
and your kid is their their own person, but like not yet, really. It's like now, like everything I do is gonna form this dude,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like now everything is just like I think about what that's gonna do, even like the things you say. Because one thing I'm like, like even small things like if like I don't want to go to the gym. I don't feel like it, you know? And like for Royce, like I'm like also equipping him with tools. And like he's just like, I didn't know I could not do something just because I didn't feel like it,
Yeah.
you know? And it's like like I'm gonna also give him excuses. I'm
Mm.
gonna give him the things that he's gonna use to get out of things that maybe he should be doing.
Mm.
And I don't want to do that,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So like there's other things I think about
Yeah.
of like, we have responsibilities, we have things we got to do. We have to be,
Yeah.
you know, protectors. I got to show him how to love his mom,
Mm-hmm.
I got to like be vocal, be careful about the things I'm saying, you know,
Mm-hmm.
out loud. So it's just like it just changed everything.
Yeah. It changed your whole world.
Yeah. Cause now it's like,
He comes before anything.
right. And he just runs everything. He's just like bought like I'm done. Change me. He just
Aww. It's great though, hey?
It's the best. It's the best. He's the best.
I mean, I'll never understand the feeling of what it's like to be a dad, but but uh
But what?
I uh I always look forward to the day, where I'll be a mother.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to be a mother. Like I've always wanted that. And it does matter, They say actually in those first few years of a child's life are the most important.
Mm-hmm.
You give them about 80% of what they're going to need for the rest of their life.
Yeah. That's the hard wiring.
Yep.
Is the beginning.
Because all now, even like things that I've dug up and just how I live my life now goes back to, how I was raised from when I was in my mother's womb to 5, 6 years old. Those are some of the most important years. And I'm glad that like you watch and are careful with those little things, like what you say and what you do, because already he's just watching.
Hmm.
And they always say, our kids are watching, and they really are.
They hear, yeah. Kids learn by they learn by like what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They don't learn by you telling them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
even there's lots of like one of the things I never want to do is like use my son or any future kids as like an excuse. Like I didn't do this because I'm a dad.
Mm.
And you hear lots of people say that.
Mm.
Like I'm a mom, I'm a dad, I can't.
Yeah.
And it's like for one, you're saying that, but hopefully you're not saying that around your kids,
Yeah.
because like I'm saying it with like direction as I'm saying it, but like most people say it like nonchalantly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I can't go to the, I can't work out that much. I have kids. But
Yeah.
it's not like, but that means like you're telling your kids that you can't go to the gym because of them and it's their fault.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna go in there
Yeah.
forever. So every dream my mom or dad has, they didn't accomplish it because of me.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
That's like that. Even those little things I think about.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that. I want to be like, I don't know. I go to the gym because I'm a dad. I need to play with my kid forever.
We need to be healthy.
Yeah, I want them to be the reason I'm doing things,
Yep.
not the excuse. It's like what it actually is my time management sucks, and I should get better at that. you know,
Yeah.
it's like it's not their fault,
Yeah.
or like you're late all the time because of your kid. It's like no, your freaking has nothing to do with your kid.
Mm-hmm.
Don't blame your kids, people. Be better.
I know what you're saying. Yeah. I hear
Yeah.
you.
And if you do blame them in your head. Don't blame
Yes.
them out loud.
Don't say it out loud, please.
Yeah.
That actually, I mean, I pay attention to how, just like the way that certain kids are, and their actions, and the little things that they do, the little things that matter to them. And honestly, I love working with children, and I love working with young people, because all they need is love.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they're looking for, is love. They just need to be filled with so much love and laughter and light. And, they're the closest thing to Creator. They're pure, they're
Mm.
innocent, and, they're not fully developed in what they believe. They don't have all the principles and morals and values in their life yet. And so they're just pure souls. And sometimes I work, in schools on my free time. If I ever have a day or two, I'll go assist in schools just as a casual EA, and I'll just sit with those kids. And oftentimes I want to be in the kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2 classes, because they're just so soft and they're so gentle, and they're just a big reminder for me to appreciate the small little things in life, to slow down, to be present with people. And I think, for the past couple of years, that was so hard for me to do. It was so hard for me to be present with people and not look at my phone, and not be talking on the phone, trying to do
Mm-hmm.
something, trying to multitask, and it's almost disrespectful, It's to our elders and to our old ones, it's a disrespectful thing to do that. And so being with those kids, that's all they'll want. Your son, he just wants your time.
Mm-hmm.
He just wants to be in your space, and and
I'm like, I
that
feel bad sometimes because I'll be,
scrolling.
or just like, you know, even like editing a video or like,
Yeah.
and he'll slap the phone out of my hand. I'm just like, oh,
You go pick it up and you keep scrolling.
go into the room and close the door.
This wouldn't have happened if I was in my room. Uh-huh.
It's yeah. It's something I got to get better at for sure. Because I'm like my mind's always just like I'm always thinking about the things I'm doing
Yeah.
and just like talking to people and just like
Yeah.
I don't know. I just need to be doing things,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard for me to be present.
It can be. It is, because it's like the anxiety of having or needing to do something.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I'm not even fully like there yet. I'm definitely not fully there yet. I still struggle to be present in places and with people,
Mm,
because I notice that even when somebody's talking, I'm like thinking about what I gotta do after
right.
and where I gotta be after. And then sometimes I just feel like bad,
Oh yeah. So you're
'cause,
not.
and then I'm like, wait, what did
Yeah.
they say? For example, I'm really bad for this, but when I'm driving, especially if it's like on the highway or something, just thinking. Like if I'm
Mm.
listening to a podcast and something and I'm like really thinking about it, listening, and then I get to my destination. Oh, how did I get here?
That is so funny because that
Relatable.
100% happens to me.
Yeah. How did I get here? But that is so dangerous.
Yeah, and I'm in the passenger seat. Just kidding. Just legs on the dash.
Easy.
Oh, I'm here.
I made it.
Yeah. Even when I'm watching movies,
Yeah.
like there's no way I can finish a whole movie without grabbing my phone.
Hey.
I just need to I'm like I could be doing something else and watching this movie.
The other thing is like, what are you missing out on? And sometimes I have to ask myself that when I'm like doing something with somebody. Like what am I missing, on the phone,
Right.
rather than being here with that person, being here with that kid, or do they really need me right now? Is it going to matter in an hour or half an hour? And man, that took me a while to really understand,
Yeah,
especially
I
like,
noticed because you've been replying like 12, 14 hours sometimes. I'm just like, what? She's still playing with those kids?
yeah, I apologize for that.
Just kidding.
I'm trying to learn accountability. It, uh, even
Demi's really good at being present. She's
yeah.
very, very good. And like getting down to his level,
Mm,
and just like being goofy. Whereas like I had to learn that.
mm.
Because before Royce, I didn't care about kids. Like I was just like, you can't even talk. Like I
Yeah,
want to be around people that I could talk to.
yeah,
Like I just had no interest in other people's kids.
yes.
But now I I have interest in other people's kids too.
Mm. So you're like, how are you? And your kids.
Like I would never go and like play with somebody's kid.
Mm-hmm. Or say
Now I do it
hi.
all the time. Yeah. I should okay.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Someone showed me their
Mm-hmm.
baby's picture. I'm like,
Right on.
just
Yeah.
it just like wasn't a thing that was like it just wasn't a thing that I
Mm-hmm.
like and it was but Demi's always been like that.
Mm.
Like if we went to somebody's house and they had kids, Demi's getting on the floor.
Oh.
Like she's like very She's like the one of like she's like the best mom. She is the best mom. She's just like a mother,
Made to be a
fully
mom.
there, made to be a mom. She's the best at it. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like you're gonna be a really great mom.
Thank you.
For real. Just because of like even just talking to you right now about it. Like I can tell as you're saying it that you love kids and that you're excited to be a mom,
Yeah.
and that's huge.
Yeah.
I was like, even like when we found out we're having the relationship with Royce before he was born, like I was like, it wasn't real until he
Mm.
was born. But Demi loved Royce before he was born. Like
Mm.
she had love for this thing that was growing inside her. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, it like wasn't really that real.
Mm-hmm.
But like to see her, like her love compared to mine as a mother was like it's just so different,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And you're like fun.
Mm-hmm.
You like to laugh, you like to joke, you like to, you know, and that's like you're gonna be a good mom.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna make me emotional.
Cry then.
I uh, I always put so much pressure. I think on my mom of like the mom that I want, the mom that I need,
Hmm.
but I'm learning right now to be so forgiving because of what my mom's gone through and what people have put her through. And
Right.
it's funny because I just finished watching Ginny and Georgia, and it's about a mom and a daughter, and it's just like it was a little reminder for me that she everything she's gone through like in her life, everything my mom has gone through in her life, um it's made her, who she is today, but she just never, like before everything, she never gave up on her kids. She never gave up on her children, and she always put her kids first. And there are times when I like look back and like, you know, can be so hard on my mom. Like, I wish you were there. I wish you would have done this, or, and like she did so much, for us to make sure we had food on the table, to, pick up that extra job, to make sure she got that degree, to like just worked super hard. And I seen that, and I'm just so forgiving now because even when I was younger and I was like in those teenage years and I was so mean and like
Yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
hard on her, I feel bad now because I'm like, you're such a good mother. And like, I didn't even know half the things that you went through until, you're older because you just hide. You
Mm-hmm.
hide all those difficult times. You hide as a parent, as a mother, as a father, like you just can't show your kids everything. And so when your kids are younger, it's harder for them to really understand that and for them to really see that at first. And I think like a lot of mothers and fathers will go through that feeling of like, am I doing okay? Am I doing all right? And they
Mm-hmm.
put that pressure on themselves like, am I a good dad? Am I a good mom? And so, like, oh my gosh, it makes me so sad because I'm like, oh, I know like so many of my buddies too that, try really hard to be a good parent, and like it's not like your kids are like telling you you're such a good mom every day if they're like 2 3 years old, telling you you're a good dad, but those little like I love yous and wanting
Yeah.
your attention is just like that instant gratification, like this is all I need, this is all I want. And yeah, like just I don't know what it's like to be a father, but you like just have so much power to mold and shape your child and help him, in all the ways you wanted and needed help when you were younger.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like I see this so often now, but like some parents will say like I never had that, so I'm not going to give it to you. Like, oh, I never had that, so why do you get it? Or like when I was young, this, so this is why you can't have this. But for me, I don't believe in that. Like I don't believe in like because at that time when things were harder, like they couldn't physically give that to them or anything. I believe if you're like able to give your child that opportunity to go to the mountains or to go, camping, then take them and don't put it on them that I never got to do that when I was a child. So you don't. But so often, like I'm seeing now, like the generation before me and my generation is like giving, kids everything that they deserve,
Mm-hmm.
giving kids what they need, giving kids what they should have.
I think one of my goals is to be able to give Royce freedom
Mm-hmm.
to do whatever he wants. Like I don't really necessarily agree with like our society or our economy or our any of that.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like he necessarily needs to be involved, if he doesn't want to,
Yeah.
So like if I could build something where he doesn't necessarily have to worry about money and he can
Mm-hmm.
focus on his dream of whatever that is, whether it's
Yeah.
a sport or art or maybe it is a career, but he can do it on his own time. Like I don't necessarily feel like I have to play this game that everyone else is playing.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna play my own game
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna play it and
Yeah.
design our own rules.
Yeah.
And I don't need to be a part of this.
Because you see it, like, if a family is very, I don't know, very musical, then, they're going to expect their kid to be musical, that you're going to have to be a drummer, that you're going to have to play piano, that you're going to have to do that. And then the kid's just not satisfied. Like, the
Mm-hmm.
kid's just not happy, doesn't love doing it, but wants to do it because their parents are pushing them to. And I just think that, like, kids, should have that freedom. I agree 100% that if your kid wants to try something, then support them, be okay with it, be open.
Mm-hmm.
We see that now though, like
Yeah, way
more
more,
often.
way more.
Yeah.
And traveling too,
Yeah.
just take them places.
Mhm.
I think I heard somewhere, no, because it is hard not to have like resentment, towards parents. Um, I heard a guy talking about once, like, like if you have resentment, if you don't, if you haven't forgiven the people in your life, and you have resentment in you,
Mhm.
then like that's not the real you. It's like a off, it's just like off of who you are a little bit because you
Mhm.
have this thing that you're holding on to, so you can't be the pure form of you.
Mhm.
And then when you think of your parents, what they've gone through, maybe how they were raised, maybe they were abused, maybe they went through all this stuff, and they're not the real them. So this person that's not the real you is angry at this person who isn't the real your mom or your dad,
Mhm.
and it's just like wasted energy. And it's just like if you can just forgive and love, then you can just be like the true form of you.
Mhm.
You don't got this thing hanging over you, which is like changing your thoughts, changing your heart,
Yeah.
because this like resentment is there or this anger is there. And if you can just like forgive, I think about that a lot because, yeah, it seems like the closer people are to you, the more you're like, what the heck are you doing? Smarten up. But it's like, and then when I think of you, like you're, uh, like a very genuine person, very kind, very a good friend. So like I feel like your mom did raise you how she was supposed to because you become like a really good person, and that's the mom that made you who you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if she would have done things differently, you might be different. Maybe you'd be softer. Maybe you wouldn't be brave enough to get on stage because you didn't have to do things on your own, a
Mm-hmm.
little bit less, like these little things where it's like now I think you turned out pretty good, you know? So you had the perfect mom to make you who you are,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. I Yeah, I'm so blessed.
Mhm.
So blessed to have a good mom and somebody that loved me. Um yeah, your parents, man, it's just like I could go on for
I
like
know.
days cuz it's like
I
I
know.
think so many people just have so much resentment,
Hmm.
guilt and shame built up, in their own hearts because of like the people that raised them and where they were and maybe where they were displaced or just not agreeing with who they were, with and around when they grew up. But I believe that resentment is just like stems from losing trust when somebody lets us down
Mm.
that we trust, we start to build resentment towards that person because I gave you a piece of myself, I gave you a piece of my heart, I gave you a piece of my mind, I gave that to you, and you know, you didn't honor that. You let me down somehow. And so when that happens, often it's like if you don't apologize or if you don't, take any accountability, then I can't forgive you. And even for myself, I'm so guilty for like making boundaries sometimes, making those strong boundaries of like, even though you did this to hurt me, to let me down, to cause this grief or stress or whatever it is that that person placed on me, whether it's a parent or not, um, it's like I got to make that boundary of what I am okay with and what I'm not okay with, and if I'm just going to let it go and say, yeah, I'm let it go and not let it bother me and not be stress free, or, if we're going to have that hard conversation and to try and make it better, and so often it's like super hard to have those tough, deep conversations with people, especially when you know you're wrong, especially when you know you've done something bad or you've done something wrong. Like it's hard to take accountability. It's hard to say sorry sometimes,
Hmm.
and then for other people it's so hard to forgive. And honestly, I feel like it's even harder for like Indigenous people to forgive because we've been let down so often and so many times. People have let us down. And so naturally, it's just more difficult for our people to not only trust other individuals, but be willing to apologize and say sorry and then forgive. You know, it's harder to do those things now. But yeah, I'm slowly learning, to be able to forgive and then to be also on the other side and be able to forgive myself, because it's different to forgive other people, and I can forgive other people, but then I'll still hold on to it because I didn't forgive myself
Mm.
for it. That it's okay. I can say it's okay, but for myself to really believe that it's okay, and then to let it go, because our mind is just like the most powerful thing, and if you don't give yourself that reassurance that it is all right, and that you can forgive yourself and not just your mom or your dad or that person that hurt you, then you're not really gonna be 100% satisfied, because you're still doubting yourself. You're still hard on yourself about what had happened. Mm.
I think when I think of expectation, I always tell people just have none.
Yeah.
Just have no expectation.
Yeah.
Then it's easy to forgive.
Yeah.
Because I think expectation is self-inflicted pain, future pain, self-inflicted. This person should do this, and they don't. And half the time they don't even know that they should have done that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was in your head that they should have done that,
Yeah.
and now you're upset. Like that whole thing was like you did that.
Yeah.
You created the expectation. You went through it not happening the way you thought it was, and then you felt the pain.
Yeah.
And the other person's just like do 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 do. It was just living.
Living their life.
And I think like most people don't want to hurt anyone. Most people are making the best decision for their life at that point in their journey,
Yeah.
which looks different. Obviously, if you maybe have addictions, the best choice for you is to use, like in your mind at that time. Maybe the pain is too much, like
Yeah.
everyone's just making the best decision for themselves, or,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in that moment based on their journey, that moment in time, wherever they're at, everyone's at different levels. And think I think people take it too personally, like it's happening to them. Like that person's doing this because of me,
Mm-hmm.
or doing this to hurt me. But it's like
Mm-hmm.
if you weren't there, they would have done that.
Mm-hmm.
You just happened to be there
Yeah.
in that part of their journey, And I don't think it's as personal as people think it is
Yeah.
most of the time. And I also seen a thing about relationships, successful marriages. There's two steps to a successful marriage: uh, high commitment and low expectations.
Well, they got to be able to like do the dishes.
And when I want my feet rubbed, it's right now.
Wow, hey. Commitment and low expectations.
Yeah.
So do you believe like the 50-50, or are you like,
No.
if I give 20, you got to give 80?
No.
What is it for you?
100-0.
100-0.
I don't expect anything from Demi.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I should take notes. I like that.
She can do. If she wants to work, she can work. If she doesn't want to work, she doesn't have to. If she wants to, if she doesn't want to do the dishes,
Yeah.
I can do the dishes, or I can, like, it's really my decision to be with her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to change her.
Yeah.
She can do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I
You're
yeah,
gonna
I'm
support her.
gonna support her. She's yeah.
That's healthy. Yeah. So often, like, you don't really, I shouldn't say you don't really, but within relationships themselves, like, I feel like it's so hard to, like, put those expectations on somebody, and then if they don't do it and they don't meet your expectations, then that's where, like, that resentment is built,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And I'm guilty of it. And, I can even say that I do that. But what I am trying to learn within, like, my own relationships is that the, like, practicing the let them theory from
Mm, yeah.
Mel Robbins, and how she uses that with everything, her work, her life, her family, her relationships, things like that, to just, like, reduce more stress in my life, reduce, the anxiety that it creates when I think somebody should be doing something, or I want them to do something and then they don't.
Right.
It's like people are going to be and do what they're going to do anyways. They're
Mm-hmm.
going to do it anyways. So it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they were going to, I don't know, I have bad examples. If they were going to cheat, they were going to cheat anyways. But
Yeah.
there's, like, certain things that, yeah, I'm really guilty of. And, like, I do genuinely, like, worry about it. But I'm happy that you have that, because so often in relationships, I see that it becomes like a competition, or like you
Right.
can't be happy for your partner, or you aren't their biggest and loudest cheerleader, and you're
Mm-hmm.
not, like, showing up for them, in the way that you should be. And so, the fact that you do have that is healthy, and your boy's going to see that, your son's going to see that. And
I think, like, for whatever reason, I don't know. I think I have, like, also maybe a high capacity to handle things,
mm,
like to handle hard things. Like, it's very rare that I feel overwhelmed, or I feel like depressed. I used
yeah.
to not think depression was real,
Huh.
because I was like, why I would feel it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know it's real now, but I remember, like, I thought people were faking it when I was, like, in high school. I thought it wasn't real. Like, I don't really feel like jealousy. Like, there's a lot of, like, high stress things that I don't think I've gone through the way other people go
Mm,
through it. So I think that helps a lot too. Is I just have this capacity to handle things. So
mm-hmm.
it's like, if I wanted Demi to do something, like, I could just do it. So I don't
Mm,
need her to do it.
yeah.
Because if I really wanted it done, like, I could go make more money.
Yeah.
I could, if I wanted to, like, I could just go do the dishes. I
Yeah.
could, like, so, like, I just don't ask anything of her,
Yeah.
because I could do it if I wanted it done. Why do I need her to do it? You I just, like, focus on being a good mom, and
Yeah.
she does that. She rocks it. So, like, that's my main, is,
Mm-hmm.
like, for Royce to. So, like, I don't know what else I would ask of her. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I used to think I was a psycho when I was young, for real. I remember I didn't feel things the way other people thought. I'm just like, am I supposed to be like at work at jobs? People would like get mad and like throwing stuff around. I'm just like, why?
Why?
Why are people doing that? You
Yeah.
know, like what is like acting like this is your company? Like you just work here.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get paid if this thing breaks or it doesn't. Like it's like I don't get it.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah. Lots of yeah, it's even like with like crying.
You're not a crier?
I could probably count on one hand how many times
Huh.
sober. Vodka, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just don't feel the need to cry? Or you don't like to
Never,
cry?
never do I feel like you should be crying right now.
Really?
No. And the times that I did cry, it was like sneaky.
Yeah.
You know, like it was information I had no idea, and it was just like a shock.
Mm-hmm.
But then like it passed relatively quickly, you know. But if I know like if I know, you know, like somebody like a grandparent passing away, you know, like that's what happens,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like
You can accept it.
right. And then just never do I. And it's not like I go
It's,
through this thing
yeah.
like you shouldn't be crying. It's just like I never feel like there's. It's never like hey cry.
So how do you think you express it instead of crying? How do you deal with that? How do you
I don't know.
release? What is your
Like
release?
I never feel like I need to release.
But you're always busy
Yeah,
and staying busy.
I'm always busy.
So do you feel like you distract?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Distraction is the easiest way to not feel. And it's not a bad thing to cry.
No.
I always tell people it's not a bad thing to cry, but there are people out there that just really don't cry and really can cry. I think I went through a period there for like a year where I didn't even cry. I couldn't cry. Something real sad too, like I couldn't cry.
Yeah.
And I think I just had this like block to not do that. But instead of crying, I'd like distract myself and I'd have to be doing something, or I'd have to go to the gym or go for a walk or turn on a show or scroll on my phone, or like I would have to think about something else instantly and I didn't want to give it attention. And so instead of like being stuck in that feeling, I'd probably turn it into like a joke, and I turn it into like something funny, like and like think it was like something funny, and like laugh it off. When really now I look back, I probably should have cried, should have cried and should have like let go. But I do believe for like really angry people out there that are like angry all the time and upset about something and they just like really show it. Sometimes I look at them like, man, you need a good cry.
First off, you need to relax. You need to relax, buddy.
You need to feel.
Even anger. Like the only time like I can feel anger, I don't even know if it is anger, but it's like when my time's being wasted.
Mm.
It's more of like annoyed anger, not I don't know what it is.
You have this chill. You have this chill, though. You really do.
Yeah.
And I admire it because that's something I want to work towards eventually, is this chill of not letting things get to you and not giving things that don't really matter. Time, your energy. You brought up something to it that really stuck with me. And it's like, if somebody breaks something and they're like, oh my God, why is this happening to me? Why is it happening to me? And I think I do that sometimes where I tell myself when something happens, I'm like, why has this got to be happening right now? If I get stuck in traffic and like I'm on a rush somewhere and I need to be there, I'm like, why is this happening right now? Like, turn green. Let's go. And I'm like angry. And I'm like angry and like, why is this happening to me? But thinking about it now, I'm like, well, my time management could have been better. I could have left sooner, and like, what is me freaking out right now? Like, nobody's hearing me through these windows.
Punching your roof in your car.
But it just saves you so much energy and just so much, like, you distance yourself from conflict, for one, too, because you don't make a big deal out of things. If somebody says something, like, you don't take it personally. Wow. Like, some people do say things. I'm like,
yeah, but they're not.
How do you make yourself a little harder then? I'm not very soft, but I sound soft now.
It's okay. It's funny because like I'm pretty like blunt and direct.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
one of my business partners,
Yeah.
he's like, there's things you've said to me like 5 years ago that I still think about on like a monthly basis.
Yeah.
But I just think like when somebody says something to you, it's like a reflection of them. Everything's a reflect. Like everything somebody does, you just put a mirror up to them, and that's what's going on.
Yeah.
So they're not saying it to you. They are saying it to you, but
They're
like
saying it because of you.
they're saying it because of them.
Yeah.
And sometimes when people say something to me, like I feel sorry for them sometimes. I'm like, oh, this guy's freaking going through it, Because like, why would you, if somebody's doing good things, why would you need to put them down? You must be going through something pretty bad.
Yeah.
So like I know it's not true.
Yeah.
I know I'm not an idiot. Sometimes, most of the time. But like, I don't know. I know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need someone else to tell me who I am.
Yeah.
And like who I am to that person, it's like, who's that person to you? Like probably somebody you see like once every 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Like who's that?
What does it matter?
Yeah. It's not, I don't know. I just think of like, like people who gossip all the time. They think people are gossiping about them all the time. That's why they're gossiping all the time. So they're going through their life just thinking people are just talking bad about me.
Yeah.
That sucks. So now they think they need to gossip or they need to, it's just like that. Whatever's coming out is because of what's in there.
Yeah.
How you perceive other people is because of like how you perceive yourself or perceive how you're being judged. That's how you judge other people. It's all like, like the 5 love languages. Have you read that book?
I know
It's like
them, but I've never read it.
you love how you want to be loved. So, if you like words of affirmation, you're going to give that because you're going to show love how you want to be loved. That's how everything works.
Mm-hmm.
You hurt how you're hurting. You do things how you're feeling inside. So like it's very easy for me to read somebody. You know, I know what they're up to, you know, most of the time. And I know it's
Yeah.
not doesn't have anything to do with me most of the time.
Yeah.
And that gives me peace. You know, I'm not that special. Like this person's coming after me to ruin my life. I'm not that special, you know?
Yeah.
You know, they're like on the brink of losing it all and now they think you're going to take it from them. But if they were in a place of abundance, it'd be fine because they would have a lot to lose. And if you
Yeah.
took a little bit, they'd be fine still.
Yes.
So they wouldn't be making it such a big deal,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's just like these,
It's
yeah,
very like hurt people, and
right.
they heal people. Yeah.
And I'm in a place in my life where like if somebody takes advantage of me, like what, you know, like they wasted my time maybe. They like maybe like it costed me some money. Like what actually happened?
Yeah.
Like they took advantage. That person took advantage of you.
Yeah.
It's like what does that mean? It's like I'm in a position in my life to be taken
Are you
advantage
okay
of.
with it because you let it happen and you
I
were
just
aware
like
that happened?
well like I'm aware like the thing is like if it happens, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm not gonna keep letting it happen. Like, you know. But I'm also not gonna hate that person for it or be angry.
Yeah.
It's like I put myself in that position.
Yeah. I put
Like
myself
it's
in.
my fault. Like I also like I'm very good at it's my fault.
Yeah.
Everything's my fault because that just gives me power in everything. As soon as something's not my fault, I have no power. So everything's my fault. You know that person punched you in the face. Like, well, I put myself in a position to be punched in the face. You know, like now, like I'm gonna learn. don't go in that situation anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like if you walk into those doors and you get punched, then you do it again, you get like at some point it's not that person's fault who's punching you anymore.
Yeah.
At some point it's your fault because you keep walking through that door.
He didn't learn the lesson.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just like everything's my fault, and that just gives me power. And nothing's personal. Everyone's just on their journey, and you're just crossing paths with people who are maybe at a low point in their journey. And if you don't hold grudges 10 years from now, that person's not even going to be the same person. But now you're still thinking of them as like this person that you met 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're not the same person. So why would that person be the same person? And they just like, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
Well,
I think everyone is good. Everyone I've
yes.
met is good.
That's where like a lot of people want to be though, where they're not like worrying about other people's problems and like even their own problems, how to just let it go, how to not take things personally, how to, not to hurt yourself so much. And that gives you so much freedom by doing that. That gives you a lot more peace by being able to do that. And I mean, I feel like for women, it's a little like harder, a little bit more difficult because we have this like motherly instinct of we can fix the problem, like we could fix things, we can,
Yeah.
and I think that's just like natural for women to feel that way. But I also do believe that we can all come to that where we're just not taking things as personal or not worrying about things that don't matter and not making the problem bigger. Because, man, like, even for the past like couple years, I, had heard so many rumors and so many rumors were brought up during that time about me, you know, and about what I was doing and the life that I was living. And, you know, like people questioned me about my sobriety. People
Mm-hmm.
questioned me about, you know, if Hailey was really sober or not, because I post a crazy TikTok and
Mm-hmm.
everyone thought I was drunk in it or something. You know what I mean? But really, I'm just living my best life and
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy, and like that's my outlet. And
Yeah.
so there even like with my TikTok, I had so much biased thoughts and feelings that just came from the outside world, where it was like, oh, because I'm a professional and, you know, I'm a political advocate and in a political position as youth chief, like I felt like I couldn't have this TikTok and be playful and be fun and be youthful, but I work for our children, and that's the best way to connect with our kids, is to like, you know, go on social media and post videos and be, you know, out there. And like, I really enjoyed it because I enjoy making people laugh and I enjoy
Mm-hmm.
making people feel good. And I love making other people laugh. I love making other people smile. I want to make you happy. I want to make you twirl around in your bed because you're just all happy watching my
Just
TikToks. Yeah,
giggling.
giggling around. I want to break your neck.
Funny. Just made
But
me think of like when you're on your stomach and your feet are
yeah,
just kicking
just
behind you.
just kicking,
Just so happy.
scrolling on my TikToks. But you
Yeah.
know, I really enjoy like making other people feel good and
Mm-hmm.
be in high spirits. And so during like, even still, I go through this feeling of like, how are people going to feel about this video, or what are they going to think? And even just like certain Instagram posts, certain Facebook posts that I would make, like I would delete it 5 minutes
Mm,
later. Why?
yeah.
Like, just post it. It's okay. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter. Like, be deadly and just post it. Or like for the longest time, when I was making those anti-Pepsi videos and chugging the Pepsis, at first I was just like, I loved it. And of course, I'm not drinking Pepsis all the
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
like every day. I'm just exaggerating, exaggerating that I did that. But it's funny because I heard those little whispers of like, she's promoting diabetes and she's like,
That's wild.
and then like I did feel bad a little bit because my mom's a dentist, and I don't want people to think
Mm,
that like I don't take care of myself and I'm not healthy. But what mattered to me wasn't that, I'm chugging Pepsis every day. Like, what mattered was that people enjoyed watching those videos and got a
mm-hmm.
good laugh out of it. And to me, that's like good medicine. It's
Your posts are the funniest. Like they actually make me laugh.
yeah.
They're great. So
Thank you.
don't stop. And I think like you're not for everyone,
Yeah.
and that's fine. I'm not for everyone. No one's for everyone. I know one like for you too. Like even going out and having fun and being sober. I think that is powerful
Mm-hmm.
because there's so many people that are battling with like, can I go out? Like, am I, should I be around it? Should I, you know? And there's some people who have built like a lifestyle that's like, I can't be around it. I can't be around people who do it. And it's like that's not freedom. Because not
Yeah.
every decision you make is based around, is there going to be alcohol there? Is there going to be this there? Is there going to be this person there? And now you're like in this cage of,
Mm-hmm.
whereas you're sober, but you're not trapped, and I think that
Yeah.
is really cool. And I think that is like a strength a lot more people maybe need to get to, because that's freedom, and like even for me, like I I still drink. I don't drink every weekend, or I don't even think about alcohol ever. It just happens
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. It's not like on
Yeah.
Monday I'm like, can't wait for the weekend, gonna get cray cray.
Yeah.
It's like I'll get invited somewhere and I'm like, okay. It's not like a factor in my life that I'm thinking about all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It just happens. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And it's like that's how you can be sober as well, where
Mm.
it's just like not a factor.
Mm-hmm.
You can still go out, and like that is probably really freeing. And I've even on this podcast, I've talked to both where some are at the beginning stages and they just can't be around it, and
Yeah.
that's fine. It
Mm-hmm.
is fine. And then, even Justin with Warrior Mentality, he said, I can go to the bar. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like it's not something I think about anymore. And he's just at that place. I can go hang out, um, and it's just like, there's just different levels.
Yeah.
And the level you're at isn't for everyone. Some people are just at the beginning where you can't be around. Oh,
Yeah.
there's no way she's sober still, because they couldn't be sober in that situation still.
Mm.
Right. So they're just putting that on you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I think where you're at is really amazing, you know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Good work. Yeah.
I feel like when you're first in those stages of recovering from either addiction or just drinking or whatever it is, like, of course, at that time, I wasn't going out. I wasn't surrounding myself around alcohol. Like, if I knew there was a dinner and they were going to be drinking, I'd be like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
maybe not, and like I wouldn't go there. But now it's like I can, be around it and still have fun and still, enjoy a good time with my buddies. Like, if they're boating or if we're golfing and they're drinking, I'm not like, I wish I was drinking, or I
Right.
don't feel those things anymore because it's been so long.
Mm-hmm.
But I also prayed really hard. I prayed really hard for my sobriety when I danced my first year. And I, wanted to continue that path and continue that journey. But also, a big part of it was I didn't want to be a hypocrite. I felt like I was a little bit hypocritical because, I was speaking to young people about drugs and alcohol, but yet I was still drinking. Not all the time, but
Yeah.
like, occasionally. And so it was conflicting. And I remember I had an individual that, I really admired. And he told me that. He said to me straight up, very bluntly, that you gotta like basically practice what you preach. And he didn't tell me it to like hurt me
Yeah.
or, you know, say it to make me feel bad about myself, but he told me that because he wanted me to walk my talk. And honestly, after he had said that, I just took that so deep to my heart when he said that. And I just remember sitting there, like, feeling at first, like, you don't know anything. Like, I literally had those thoughts
Yeah.
because I was in it, just thinking, like, I'm still a great role model. Like, you're not saying I'm a good role model because whatever. Like, and so I didn't take it the right way that I should have at the time. And I sat there and I listened, of course, and I, whatever. But then after that, um, I thought about it and I said to myself, like, he was right. Because if I'm going to go out there and tell our young people not to drink and not to touch drugs and to gear away from it, like, as best as you can because of these reasons, then I should be doing that too. And so, yeah, I eventually like quit right after that. Like, I think it was like a month later, I quit. And when I quit, it wasn't like, oh, this is my last night, this is my last time drinking or whatever. It was just like, I was done. Like, I just felt done. And after that, I prayed. I prayed really hard and ceremony and just asked for prayers, that I could continue and, walk that red road. And ever since then, I've just been so, I think I like see life a lot more different now. Just in the sense of like where I do connect and where I don't connect. Because at that time I was connecting with individuals in different places that I don't really care to be around or be in anymore. So yeah, I like it just gave me a new sense of like confidence and like ceremony. I found ceremony and I didn't feel guilty, for showing up to ceremony as much. And I just found sober people too. And like that was different. But yeah, I think it does take a little while to be able to like return back to those spaces and then those places. But I'm young, and I always acknowledge that I'm young. In my 20s, I'll be young. In my 30s, I'll be young. In my 40s, I'm still young, like, and I want to live my life to the fullest. I want to look back and like look at my life and remember that I did those awesome things and like I got to meet those amazing people like yourself, and I took every chance and like every opportunity that I could. I want to be able to like go back and remember all those good times, but then be able to acknowledge like the rough times and the bad times that really molded me to who I am today, and like had those horrible things and whatever, all those triumphs and all those little bumps on the road. Like, I wouldn't be me. And that's why I'm so, so grateful that whatever happened to me in this life and the after, like my before life, my life before this, I'm super grateful because it's just taught me so much. Like listening, sitting and listening, sitting and not being the loudest person in the room, sitting and not talking, all the time. Just now it's really about learning and listening. For a long time, it was like, I was always talking. I still talk a lot, but, like really talking and like trying to be the person that sparks the conversation all the time and whatever. But I often like find myself just being more present now and trying to really learn from the people around me and learn from like those little situations I get myself into and things like that. Because down the road, I know that it's going to have some sort of good impact on me. Or maybe not, maybe not. Maybe it's going to be bad, like, but I never used to look at it that way. I really didn't. Like, even just with where I am in like my career and things like that, I just, even last year, I was like, I just ran in a provincial campaign, and I think I was the youngest person ever to run for FSIN chief, like being 21 and doing that, like that was crazy. Like, and that was such a big learning journey too. And I took so much from that. It just like changed so much in my world. Learning about people, learning about, just by their actions. And I'm just glad that I have these opportunities come across me and I'm like willing to take them, and not feel scared or not feel intimidated, or even if I'm the youngest, even if I'm the young woman in the room, or even if I'm the only Indigenous person there, to just remember that this opportunity wouldn't come across me if it, wasn't meant for me. So thank you for having me on your podcast. That opportunity is, I will take every opportunity to learn, and I've learned a lot from you. And just by having this conversation today, I feel like I gained, so much knowledge, and I'm going to take that back, back home and use that, take some of your tools and put it with my toolkit. And, I I'm really grateful for that. Really trying to express my gratitude. So, yeah.
I think this is a perfect place to call it. 2 hours, 12 minutes. This is officially the longest podcast I've had.
What? 2 hours.
Crazy, eh?
Wow. I'm sweating.
I wasn't going to say anything. Yeah. I noticed that about 40 minutes ago. Just kidding.
Wow.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me. Honestly, it's been really nice, and I enjoyed having a conversation. It was just very chill, and I'm super proud of you for starting the podcast journey and just really rolling with it, and it's a good way to meet people and
Learn
for real. So